Hi, are you a writer or a wannabe author over 40, 50, 60? Do I hear 70? Are you thinking that maybe it's too late for you or you missed your time because all you see on YouTube and AuthorTube are very young authors and writers who I also actually love to watch? No shade, love it. But I am here to remind you that we all can have a creative, magical life. Hi, Amy Kennedy, the Creative Crone. And I'm hoping to just imbue that in myself and you, that we get to still have our dreams, our goals of becoming writers, authors, creatives. Maybe you're a painter. Maybe you sew. Whatever it is, whatever creativity calls to you, I want you to know it's never too late. I have been writing for, since I was in school. I think I still have a little short story that I wrote when I was like in first grade. So I always loved to read, and I always actually loved to write. Mainly short stories, poetry, that kind of thing. The amount of bad poetry from high school it's a lot. I started writing fiction probably 30 years ago. So that sounds bad just to say that out loud. But I don't think I ever took myself seriously or the process seriously. I would dive into something, go at it for maybe a month or two, and then life would get busy, right? As life does. Whether you're single or married or have children or no children or animals or no animals, a full-time job, 3 part-time jobs, it doesn't matter. Life doesn't care. It gets busy. And I could easily set my creative projects aside. And then maybe I'd come back to them 6 months later, a year later. And of course, it's like, treading through oatmeal, just trying to get the groove back to where you want to be. So anyways, now I have been seriously writing a trilogy. It's a teen paranormal romance trilogy for probably 3 years now, which also sounds ridiculous because I haven't published the first in the series yet. I'm actually on like the 18th edit of the first book. I'm on paper edits. And so this is what's done for paper edits. I have 35 pages left of actual paper edits. It really helps me to go through on paper. I can edit on my laptop, I can do that, but I prefer paper because then I can sit out on the porch and scribble away. And for whatever reason, it just helps me. I feel like I can read it and pay attention better. So this is my final paper edit. And then I'm going back on my laptop, and I do have a writing software. So it's not an editing software. So then I will go in and actually make the edits that I've done on the paper copy. Which, what happens is that when you make the edits in your work in progress, more edits come to you. And I think that's my problem, is I'm definitely having a problem of saying the end, because I've said it so many times. And then I send it out to a few beta readers. And the minute I hit send to the beta readers, I'm realizing like, oh, this thing might not be clear, and I shouldn't have done this, or I shouldn't have done that. And so I think that I have to just force myself to really give some time to this and finish it and get it published. My goal is to get it published before the end of the year. We'll see if that happens. I am still working full-time. I plan on working full-time until next spring. Knock on wood, that we actually get to retire next spring. So then I would be able to write more, but I don't want to wait until I'm retired to give it my all. I want to give it my all now, sort of my practice retirement. So right now I'm writing this trilogy, and it's basically fractured fairy tale. The first book is very much a Little Red Riding Hood retelling. The wolf is a reluctant werewolf, and Red is a newbie witch. And so that is that in a little nutshell of the first book. The second book is still going to continue with these characters, but it will highlight the main character of this first book, her best friend. It will highlight her story as well and what her fractured fairy tale is, which is a fairy godmother Cinderella type of fractured fairy tale. The third book, this character in the third book, she is, what I love about it is she's an enemy to friends character arc with these two other female characters. She is actually very interesting to me, and I find myself wanting to do a whole series with just her and have it go into like college and new adult with her. And that I can't start on that because I have to finish this and the trilogy first. So I think with any creative project, there's all these points in the project where you can be pulled off course. And sometimes it's, a happy accident that can happen when you're pulled off course. And other times you're just maybe coming to a hard point in what you're working on, and you think, if I just go with this shiny object over here, my life will be complete. But then that shiny object will also have a point in its life when things become hard, and then you'll find another shiny object to go after. And so I know this about myself. I am in love with shiny objects. I force myself not to go after them right now. What I do allow myself is to write them down and to just handwrite some notes about them. And I have a great big binder that I've got notes for each character. And so that's where I allow myself to do that. So that's what the project I'm working on right now. And my working title for this first book, at first it was WTH, and it was going to be What the Hex, but I don't even think people use that anymore. And so a second title was going to be The Ridiculous Danger of Curses and Other We'll see. We'll see if one or the other or neither of those ends up being what it is, but I needed a working title. I have so many works in progress, hence why I said I used to always love to go with shiny objects. I've finished 3 manuscripts, counting the one that I'm editing right now. And so I also have an adult contemporary that I finished, and I have another teen paranormal kind of romance one that's not historical, but set in the 70s. So I guess in a way it's historical. Neither one of those have been edited or polished or anything like that. So I know I can finish things, which I think our brains all need proof of concept that we can finish things. But so I also have to remember, just because I've written the end doesn't mean it's finished. So there is that. The other thing that I'm hoping to do with this channel, besides long rambling writing vlogs, is I'd love to have creativity sprints and have that be whatever we might be working on, because I also like to do other things besides just write. I have a bunch of keys that I love to make jewelry out of. I like to make earrings. I like to sew. I like to decorate, romanticizing things. So there's many creative aspects that I want to dig into. And I think it would be fun to do that together, sort of an alone together type of situation, holding space for that. So would love to do that. I hesitate to do any kind of writing advice because I feel that I shouldn't give writing advice until I've published something. However, I have been writing for a really long time. And so perhaps I can do writing advice as to what not to do type of thing. But also there's certain things, when I reread things that I've written, there are some times that I actually am like, I wrote that? Like, good. And then there's other times that I read things and go, oh, I wrote that. Oh, that's too bad. So perhaps there might be some writing advice. And I think too that just sharing some of our lives as we get older, I also love woo-woo kind of magical things, as you can probably tell. And that comes through in my writing, because most of my writing does have paranormal, witchy, ghosts, all different things like that in it. So obviously I do like it, so it ends up in my writing. Except for the contemporary romance. There's not a stitch of magic in that one. But that's okay. I love that I'm doing AuthorTube, and I hope that you'll join me in this journey. I hate it when people say that, but it is a journey. And we have October, November, December until 2026, and may as well get some done in that time. All right, thanks a lot. Like, subscribe, all the things. See you later. Bye.